What is going on, everybody? I'm having some problems with Games Workshop lately, and I'm not a person that gets free models from them, so I'm willing to share my opinion here. Uh, Also, anybody who gets free models from this company, I would take their opinion with a grain of salt. But I don't think they're making very good rules for quite a while now. I think their playtesting is very, very poor. I don't know if it is the playtesters or the game designers or the game designers not listening to the playtesters or there's not enough playtesters or what have you. But having played a few games of AOS 3, there's a lot of 2-up saves that have stack saves that ignore rend, basically. It is just pretty bad so far. I've had a pretty bad experience with AOS 3. I'm very excited about it, or was. Scratch that. I was very excited about AOS 3. And as of right now, I think it's just as bad as it's ever been. The stacking of nonsense is still very much available to some armies. But I'm also in the camp that when a new edition comes out, the old books and old rules mean absolutely nothing. And basically, you kind of have to wait for your new book. Now, I've played the Sons of Behemoth, got double turned by a shooting army and died, as always happened in AOS 2, because double turn for ranged attack armies is about as dumb as game design gets. And I've played Ossiarch Bone Reapers versus Sylvaneth a few times, and basically none of us could, in general, hurt each other with a bunch of 2-up re-rolling saves and whatnot. And I ignored Rend 1, which basically his whole army only had Rend 1. So barely anything happened during the game. It was pretty sad. My catapult killed a guy, and he brought it back on his next turn. So there you go. But I want to just show you something here on how badly these games are written. And you let me know. This is more of a discussion video. I want to talk to you in the comments and feel your thoughts on this. I'm basically on the verge of not giving them any more money. I think their games are very much the design of throw a bunch of crap at the wall and see if it sticks. And then if things were so poorly designed, they have to jump in with some sort of FAQ, assuming they're not going to charge you for that supplement book, we'll call it. They'll give you a free FAQ to try to fix things, to not upset their player base too much, but hardly any measures taken to actually fix or balance the games. Now, all of this is subject to change. We're going to see the first 2 new AOS 3 codexes coming out soon. But if you want to see some real big problems with power creep and codex design of whatever or whoever is writing these books, head on over to just about any competitive 40K chat, and it's really, really bad. So here we go. Let's check out the Black Pit. And I just want to hear your thoughts on how you think GW's game design. Is it purely about power creep and OP models to boost sales and then nerfs after they sell X amount? Is it just thematic, cool sounding rules with hardly any attention paid to whether or not it breaks the game, or it's too strong, or it's comparable to other things in the game? Or you think it's in a great spot? I want to also preface this with playing games with your friends is fun. So don't stress out too much if you're having a good time on my opinion here. But if you're having a good time with your buddies playing some games, then of course it's fun, right? Not everybody's win at all costs or a tournament player or competitive player. But even then, some of these rules just seem so out of whack. And let's just take this one for an example here. The Black Pit is a spell casting value of 7, relatively hard depending on if they have buffs to cast. 12-inch range, short range for spells, but things in this world can be cast through spell portals, so let's just say infinite range. If cast, pick one enemy unit within range, roll a dice for each model in the unit, and for each roll that is equal to or greater than the unit's save characteristic, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound. And then it also specifies for each 6, meaning that if the unit had no save, you could still affect it. Now, this has no effect on really single model big monsters, which are a super big problem in AOS 3. The design around your Archaon, your Nagash, your Marathi, your Gotrek is so stupid. Like, how do they not see this in playtesting of these unkillable monsters rolling around, chopping up the battlefield? It's so bad. But anyway, basically, you roll a 7 and you kill half of a unit if they have a 4-up save. You kill more than half of them if they have a 3-up, or another 1 wound, mind you. Now, if they're like a 2-up with 3 wounds each, then you're going to basically roll a ton of wounds if they have a lot of models in their unit, but not a lot of people are going to roll that. Now, there are going to be a few big units with 3-up and 4-up saves, and even on a lot of times this sort of spell, when it exists, it's just you're fishing for 6s. For every, I don't have an example right off the top of my head because I don't have any of my AOS 2 books around except for the Giants and the OBR, but a lot of times when this spell comes into play, or this type of spell, it's some weird casting value. You roll a dice for every model in the unit, and on a 6, they suffer a mortal wound. It's supposed to be able to break big units, 60-man goblins that used to exist, or 30-man this or that. But it's not ever created equal, and I just don't see how it's playtested. Now, I just want to give you an example here from the OBR book. This is a spell called Mortal Contract. It's also a casting value of 7, so realistically, it's going to do the same, right? It's going to kill half of a unit with a 4-up save. Now, there are variations here, but let's get into it. Pick an enemy unit within 18, so not 12, better range. For the rest of the battle, roll a dice at the end of each phase during which any attacks made by the unit inflict any damage on a friendly OCR Bone Reaper's unit. So you cast the spell, it does nothing. When that enemy unit you cast it on shoots or beats you up in hand-to-hand combat with attacks, so not like magic spells and things like that, on a 3+, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So for the same casting value of a 7, you have to roll a 3-up to do 1 to 3 mortal wounds to a unit. Now, it's not the exact same target per se, right? You could cast this on a big single model, and over the course of the game, as he destroys your entire army, you would do a couple mortal wounds to him. So that's nice. But having played AOS 3, high bravery single models are also going to heal twice per battle round if they want. So whoop-de-doo, D3 mortal wounds is not going to kill these unkillable monsters. Or, if that unit is not in combat for a round, this spell does nothing. If that unit doesn't shoot you for a round because it had to retreat or something, this spell does nothing. And even at best, when it triggers, you have to roll a 3-up and then a 5 or 6 to then give them 3 whole mortal wounds. Whereas for the same casting value of a 7 here, on, say, a 20 or 30-man 4-up save unit with 1 wound, you're killing 10 to 15 of the models. So there you go. It's just a little example. There's other examples. If you have other examples, please post it below what your casting value 7 spells are in your army and how they compare. Because I remember during all the Slanesh reviews how absolutely terrible their spells were. Soulblight Gravelords had some terrible spells. A lot of times they write these spells so bad. And is this the game designer or the playtester? I don't know. But it will be like, cast this spell and then roll 2 dice, and if you get over the bravery, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, but if you roll double their bravery, they suffer 3 mortal wounds, and it's just so much nonsense. Let me know. We're thinking about, or we as in me, just, I don't know. I don't think GW is making good games right now. I think the rules are really bad. I am curious, though, to see what this new Orc War Clan book is going to be like. I do have an Ironjawz army I would like to try and paint up and play. But besides the Orc War Clan book, I don't honestly see myself giving them any money in the future outside of maybe a paint or something that I might want to try out, or refill that I run out of. But let me know what you think. Where's your head at? On AOS 3 right now, the hype was real, and the letdown is real for me. So please fill me in down below. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Goodbye.